Good morning. Good morning. Nice deep breath, recharge. Coming off the bye week, I think it was good just to be able to get away, decompress. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I lost my father back in August. So it was good to get back home, back to Atlanta, see my mom, my family, be there to support her. So it was good. I've been around a lot of places from a player standpoint. You come off the bye and it's kind of somber coming back into the building. Guys aren't really excited, wishing they were still big kicking it on the beach or on vacation. And, I come back into the building on Monday and it's just a lot of juice, a lot of energy. Guys are excited, biting at the bit to get back to work. So it's really encouraging to see coming back into the building the energy of these guys. And yesterday we had a full padded practice and we picked up right where we left off. There was no sluggishness. Guys are really enthused, running around, ripping, doing everything that they can to find ways to get better. So that's really good. I think you look at it, very excited about the opportunity to play back at home. You look at it, we are 3-0 now, and I think now is the time where we build that mindset of, we are unbeatable at home thanks to our fans at US Bank, because that's a true advantage that we have. Obviously, we have a tough opponent coming in, the Arizona Cardinals, coming off a big win. They kind of got a little mini bye, so they'll be well rested and ready to get to it. But again, we're gonna need that hometown energy, big time energy coming in, and it's gonna be a good battle for us. But it's time for us to kind of stamp that we just don't lose at home, and that's just a part of it. And so I feel like our guys are really starting to feel that. And so we'll be ready to go. Kind of dating back, if I can recall on it, just on the Miami game. Overall, it was we talked about the bounce back game coming back from Chicago. I felt like we accomplished that, kind of got back to our old stomping ways, I would say, to where, guys were really locked in. Big time manager, we always talk about having that positive impact on the football game, really winning that field position battle. I think our average drive start was like the 37 and theirs was like the 22. So, we kind of found ways to win in that. Had a great fourth down stop by Metellus on the fake punt there. We were well prepared and ready for that. Mr. Wright, big shout out to him on being the Week 6 NFC Special Teams Player of the Week with the 10 punts, the 73-yard bomb that ended up hitting, completely flipping the field. And, that really just goes to the unseen work that he puts in on a daily basis that you all might not see, the fans don't see, the film work, the collaboration that he has with him and Serpo and G-Money. Those guys really pointed into him just kind of based off of the vet status and experience that they have, and giving him little small tidbits on how he can improve, in his young career, and he's done an excellent job with that. So big congrats to him. But that award goes to everyone. Coach Kawitka, the work that he does with Mr. Wright, Serpo with the snaps, and then G Money just being a good supporting cast. So. That's kind of the Miami week, and we'll get ready for Arizona coming to town. So, questions?
On the fake punt you mentioned, O'Connell on his video with Vikings.com was talking about how the night before you kind of brought that to the attention of some of the players.
Oh yeah, so yeah, the Saturday night meeting, we actually kind of reviewed really those exact plays. Just kind of went through the last 3 years of what type of fakes the Dolphins have done, what those looks might look like, where on the field do they typically like to run those fakes, and even more so, we watching TV copies to listen to the audio of what the personal protector is actually saying. What is their typical normal cadence? And so the antennas went up for Metellus because the cadence was a little different than what we recalled it being Saturday night, but also during the game, because the punt, it might have been like the fourth or fifth punt of the game. And so we kind of already clued in, and, I asked Metellus always after the first punt, hey, did you hear what the PP's cadence was? And typically he's able to tell me exactly, yeah, it was X, Y, and Z. And so his antennas went up when that cadence wasn't the same as it was the prior 3 or 4 punts. And so that way he was able to kind of match and mirror that movement right there. But, the unsung hero in that, honestly, was Brian Asamoah being able to take on 2 blocks right there. So they weren't able to reach block and go get up to Metellus.
So even where that ball was, I want to say it was a 30-something yard line. You guys thinking that could be a fake right?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially, you look at the downer distance, how the game was going. Just you got to have a little situational awareness, and so we were already kind of keen to it and ready. Communicated on the sideline, be ready for the fake, possible a gut play right here, and the way it was set up, you could say it was a bait, or not, but we kind of stuffed up the middle of it, which kind of they really wanted to go like a straight gut play, we would call it, straight up the middle, but the way our alignment was, it kind of checked it to like a bounce, and so that kind of allowed Metellus to kind of leak out right there to go get it.
I think after week 4 you said you wanted more return yards. After reviewing 6 games, is that still your primary focus, or are there other things?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of self-scouting. You want to see it. I want to put my offensive or defensive, defense say, we got to match the rush and the coverage. Or, KO says, we got to marry the run and the pass game. And for us, looking back at it from we call it pressure return standpoint, a punt return standpoint, we want to find a way to marry up the rush with the return. And so just kind of looking at that, figuring out from a personnel standpoint who we need to put on the field in order to accomplish that. How can we make, our rush what might look like we're rushing, but really it's a return look, but to the punt team it feels like we're rushing them. And so we're trying to figure out ways on how we can marry up our rush with our return game. JR ended up having a 25 explosive yard return right there from a pressure return standpoint, and I've had a lot of talks with Kene about really trying to get him going, and so me and Coach Kawika looked at, our personnel, do we have the guys in the right spots that's going to allow them to maximize what we're asking them to do. And so you'll see a couple of tweaks and changes in how we approach our kickoff return from, a personnel standpoint, a little schematic standpoint too. And so, we're excited about what that plan looks like moving forward.
What were you thinking during the 73-yard punt?
Oh, man, it's still in the air. Still in the. You can hear KO's like, oh, I'm like, and I think the biggest thing is when it actually hit the ground, I'm just thinking, Kene, please go, Kene, go, because this guy, he's probably going to field the punt and going to get ready. But Kene did an unbelievable job there of, at least slowing him down, and Metellus and, the rest of the group piling on and doing a great job of swarming to the football. But, yeah, it's almost like Mr. Wright brought the old Denver altitude to Miami with him with that punt there. So it was good. It's interesting. We were just having a conversation. Mr. Wright actually lined up. It was actually a recipe for disaster if you go back and look at it, because typically you line up at 14 yards, and he was 17 yards back. And even Serpo looked down like, all right, what's this guy doing? And as the ball is actually being snapped, he is literally walking up because he realized he was too deep. And so as the ball is being snapped, he is walking forward to get back to the 14 yards of depth. And the drop was actually bad because he actually had the laces down and kind of slightly quickly turned it at the last second. And so it ended up working out. To say the least.
Try those running punts that you see in college for the guy who's grabbing.
You're right. Yeah, we might need to consider that. Might be something to consider for sure.
How was he able to punt it that far without, literally out kicking the coverage?
Yeah, so the thing is, we actually talked about it, and Serpo actually brought up a great point yesterday. I thought these guys, Serpo's been doing an unbelievable job with his veteran leadership of really communicating to these guys, and he brought up a good point to Mr. Wright yesterday and saying, like, dude, your leg is all, the power is already there, and so you don't have to swing out your shoes to create so much, power coming out. And we was just telling them, like, just stay natural with it, stay, keep it clean, tight feet, up and through the ball. No need to try to muscle the ball. And if you look at like the Denver punt, even the Miami punt, it was just a nice, smooth operation, easy swing. And he's got the leg power, you call him the stallion or whatever it is. So he's done a great job of just really locking in on that, and we're just trying to keep it so he just stays nice and smooth throughout his process, and there's no need to worry about out kicking the coverage because those guys are flying down there. And I think the hang time on that ball was like 4.85 or 4.90. So it's incredible. You start talking about elite punt status, that's what it looks like.
Any other questions for Matt?
DePaula goes from the snaps for field goals, 8 yards to 14, but like going it up to 17, I mean, that would be
Yeah, that's why his kind of intangible went up. Like, what in the world? Like, what is this guy doing? So yeah, but for him, regardless if it's at 17 or 20, he got to get back there. So then, that's his job, regardless of how deep it is.
You talk about the hang time on that punt. Still having gunners that can cover that amount of distance in 5-6 seconds.
Huge.
How much do you look into just the straight line speed part of it when you're trying to select gunners?
Oh, a lot. I mean, speed is everything. From we talk about, you got 3 descriptions of what you're looking for in a gunner, and obviously it's speed, relentlessness, and violence. And when speed is going to be the number one thing, especially when you're talking about, out there at the gunner position, you literally running a 100-yard dash, so it's fast. Yeah, that was Kene. That was Kene. And again, big hats off to Coach Kawika. He's a guy that works with the Gunners, and Kene this is his first year ever playing gunner. He didn't even honestly know what the position really even was. If we're being honest, so for him to really lock in and have true impact. I think he might have had 2 tackles in the game in Miami. He's been doing a great job at that gunner position, especially considering Hot Sauce is on the practice squad, and he's been kind of that, the Batman and Robin with KB over the past couple of years. So Kene's done a great job of stepping in at that position, and it's encouraging to see.